So what I'm going to read to you now, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolutely beautiful piece that was written by the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak. This is from a talk he gave on Pesach one year in Warsaw, I believe.
Oh, in Warsaw.
And
that's particular for me.
And in this particular, he was explaining what it was like in the town of Lubavitch. He had grown up in the town of Lubavitch, and he was explaining how spiritual, how saturated the town was with spirituality. And he gave this talk, and it was later transcribed, where he described the energy of Elul in Lubavitch. And since this Shabbos, we're going to be saying the blessing for the month of Elul. This Shabbos is called Shabbos Mavarchim, the Shabbos in which we bless Chodesh Elul, the month of Elul. And since we're doing this, every year on Shabbos Mavarchim Elul, on the Shabbos before the month of Elul, when we bless the month of Elul, I remember this. I reread this piece from the Frierdiker Rebbe, from the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to read it now. And I think you may have heard this from me in previous years, but it's a real wake-up. So he says like this. In the 102 years that Lubavitch was the capital of the Rebbeim of Chabad, the township became the source book for the spiritual lifestyle that Hasidus prompts and for the customs that Hasidim practice. This is true of the workday life of the whole year, but especially so with regard to the festivals. In Lubavitch, even though the Shabbos preceding the month of Elul, like this one, right? The Shabbos preceding the month of Elul, Shabbos Mavarchim, would still be a clear and sunny day. Even though it was still a clear and sunny day, the air felt different. There was a smell of Elul in the air. You could feel the first stirrings of a tshuva breeze. Every person there was beginning to grow a little bit more deliberate, a little more thoughtful, and was allowing his weekday affairs to fade from his memory. During the 2 midsummer months from Shavuos until Shabbos Nachamu, except for a certain break during the 3 weeks, which were days of real mourning, the laws of this period being punctiliously observed in all their details, people would sometimes take a little stroll across the marketplace between Mincha and Ma'ariv. No one ever went out for a walk between Pesach and Shavuos, but from then on, people took the opportunity of enjoying the pleasant summer weather. From Shabbos Nachamu onwards, groups would begin to form for study sessions held after Ma'ariv in the spirit of the verse that says, "Arise, cry out in the night." By the time Shabbos Mavarchim Elul came around, one could already sense the atmosphere of Elul. Anxiously, people now awaited the first recitation of the chapter of Tehillim that begins, LeDavid Hashem Oiri, V'yishi, by David, God is my light and my salvation. Eagerly, they awaited the first blast of the shofar that would announce that the gates of the month of mercy had been thrown open. The stamp of Elul could already be detected in the Chasidus that the Rebbe delivered on Shabbos Mavarchim Elul, with its traditional opening phrase, Ani ledoidi v'doidi li. I am my beloved and my beloved is mine. And the initials of these words constitutes the words Elul, or with the phrase, Hashamayim Kisi, heaven is my throne, or with the phrase, Re'ei anochi neisen ifneichem hayom, behold, I set before you this day, which are all different verses that the Maimah of the Shabbos would be said with. Every day of Elul was quite unlike any other day of the year. Lying in bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, you could hear that the first daybreak minyan in the Beis Medrash had already finished its morning davening. You could hear the shofar. It woke you up to the fact that the world was now pervaded by Elul. You dress hastily, a trifle dissatisfied with yourself for having somehow slept in so late. Though through your mind flits the recollection that this was the period that Moshe Rabbeinu spent on Mount Sinai when he went up to receive the second set of tablets.
Wow.
These are propitious days in which you can accomplish more than usual. You tell yourself that you should become a mensch. You cannot let these hours be lost on sleep. By the time you arrive at the Beis Medrash, you find quite a crowd already there. Some are reading Tehillim, some are studying Chassidus, some are reading Tikkunei Zohar, while others, whether standing or sitting, are at prayer. I always think about this in the month before Shabbos Mavarachim Elul. There's a Sikha of the Rebbe where he analyzes the mystical meaning of the sun was shining and there was a tshuva wind, which we can talk about another time. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, and this week on Rosh Chodesh, so on the second day of Rosh Chodesh, we start blowing the shofar. We start saying the extra prayers. And the month is coming. It means we're just over 30 days until Rosh Hashanah. This is a Chodesh of Rachamim. It's a month of mercy. And as we know the famous analogy from the Alter Rebbe, the Melech is Besada, the king is in the field. So, ladies and gentlemen, incredible opportunities are coming with the month of Elul. The tshuva wind can already be detected. And it's happening. And God forbid any of us God forbid any of us should be caught sleeping so late, like 6 o'clock in the morning. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So with all that in mind, I felt I should read that. I'm going to take a break now from this and come back in a few minutes for our video